Hi guys, so I'm going to be doing the tutorial that I mentioned in my, I believe it was my March haul video, where I talked about using my new NARS eyeshadows and said that I was going to do a tutorial on it, so that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to start by pinning my hair back. I'm going to start with a good base. I've already sprayed a little bit of mineralized charged water on my face just to moisturize and sort of just create almost like a film over my skin. I mean, a film sounds gross, but just sort of like a layer of refreshment and moisture. And then the foundation I'm using today is L'Oreal True Match in W3 Nude Beige. I really actually have been quite enjoying this foundation. I've used quite a bit of it. So I'm not going to go too heavy on the base, so I just have a little bit of, not a little bit, but a fair amount of foundation on the back of my hand. And I'm going to use a Real Techniques foundation brush, which has a nice angle to it, and I'm just going to put this on my face, making sure that everything goes on evenly and smoothly. Okay guys, so I went ahead and already did this eye, and as you can see, it sort of fades from this really pretty light blue to this dark sort of grungy blackened brown, and it's sort of shimmery and really interesting looking. I think I'm going to call this tutorial like vintage eyes or something like that, because the middle color sort of looks like a tarnished penny, and I don't know, I think it just looks really cool. So on this eye, this is where I'm going to be putting my eyeshadow, obviously. I'm going to start off by priming my lids with Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which is definitely my go-to primer. And I'm just going to put this all over my lid, and then whatever extra is on my finger I'm going to bring underneath, because we are using shadows underneath. So you want to make sure that prime that area as well. So there's the lids primed, and actually what I'm going to do is start off with the darker color, because I feel like with lighter colors you have a little bit more control over the placement, but I want to get the dark colors right in the first place because it sort of frames where I put the lighter eyeshadows on, if that makes any sense. So the dark eyeshadow that I'm using, that's that blackened brown, is Mekong by NARS, which looks like this. It's a really pretty dark espresso with some gold shimmer. And I'm going to take that eyeshadow on a MAC 239. Just pat the brush. This is a very pigmented eyeshadow, so you barely need to tap it, and you can see it gets really dark. Tap off the extra. Notice I didn't set my face with powder yet because I want to be able to clean up under the eyes afterwards in case I get any fallout. And what I'm going to do is basically work this from the outer V and bring it to about halfway on the lid, and then also bring it up in the crease. Not very high though, because I want to blend it out. If you can see, I just brought it up to the crease, and then I'll blend it out from there. And I'm also going to bring it on the lower lash line. So it's mainly just going to be focused on the outer half of my eye. So what I'm going to do is just take it in the outer corner and pat and work in, because I want it to be the darkest in the outer corners. And then I'm going to sort of take whatever ends up being left over on the brush after all of this, and then use that to blend towards the center of the lid so it gets lighter and it makes the blending process easier. And I like this brush because you can use the very tip of it like this, and you can run this along your lower lash line, which is what I'm going to do. You could also use something like a 219 from MAC or a smudge brush or something like that, but I just don't want to dirty up another brush, and I can get the same effect with just using this brush, so that's why I'm using this one. And I'm going to bring both of them about halfway onto my eye. So this is a really great look if you have rounder eyes and you want to sort of elongate them and make them more like a cat shape, since the darkest sort of fades from a light to a dark and the darkest color is on the outside. Around the outside, around the outside. What song is that? I have no idea. And then the next thing to do is use a little bit of NYX Jumbo eyeshadow pencil in Milk, just to really help the light eyeshadow, the light blue eyeshadow that we're going to use, to stick. So I'm just going to put this around the inner corner. The thing with the jumbo pencils is you really just want to put a thin layer on, because it's mainly just to help the color stick and be a little bit more vibrant. But if you layer a really heavy, you know, if you put a really heavy layer of eyeshadow or the pencil on, then it's just gonna crease, you know. And then I'm gonna take my NARS eyeshadow duo in Clio, which looks like this, and then I'm gonna take the shimmery light blue sort of seafoam color on a different eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to put this right on top of that pencil on the inner corner. And I'm also going to bring it on the lower lash line area, so sort of right here on the tear duct. And again, just blending this out, sharing the love, if you will. So then what I'm going to do is take the other side of the brush and use the that tarnished teal sort of color. And then this is going to go in between those two and just sort of pat it on. Don't worry if it's not perfectly blended yet, we still have to go in and do some blending. I'm only bringing this up to about the crease, both of these colors. The black is, or not the black, but the brown is going to go higher than all of those because it's going to sort of create this shape. So I've got some of that teal still on the brush. I'm going to flip it over, get the lighter color, and get a bit more of the teal. And then I'm going to take, make sure you don't mix them up, I'm going to take the lighter color, pat the edge of where it meets that tarnished color, and then pat the edge of that teal color with this shimmering seafoam, and then just sort of pat it back and forth, so that way you can get a nice gradient from that light blue to the teal color without it looking really harsh. And then you can also take your the brush you used with your dark eyeshadow, and then do the same thing and just sort of pat and sweep it over into the teal. And if you need to, just take a bit more of that teal and make sure you don't cover up one color too much, so that way it's just a nice gradient without it being, you know, covering each other. Now I'm going to take a 217, which is just a fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to blend out those edges of that dark eyeshadow and just sort of blend it in to the blue colors by bringing it towards the right underneath my brow, because I want it to sort of have an elongated shape like this, but I also want it to curve back around, so it's like, you know, the top is like this and then the bottom sort of goes out, and it creates a really cool shape. I'm also going to take that teal color and put this in between the blue and the brown on my lower lash line. So the lower lash line sort of mimics the gradient on the upper lash line. And then just to help things blend a little better and add a bit more warmth to contrast the coolness of the blue, I'm going to take Makeup Forever number 17, which is just a warm chocolate brown, just a touch of that on my brush, barely need any. And then this is going to go right above, almost on top and blending above that NARS eyeshadow, so you can see it just helps the brown fade into the brow bone without being really harsh, and it adds a bit of warmth, which helps to balance everything out, I think. Now I'm just going to take a matte skin tone color. I'm going to use Inglot number 330 with a eyeshadow brush and just use this to highlight my brow bone. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that white that's under there, which is a matte 373, but you can use any white. And just put this right near the tear duct on the inner corner, just to really ensure that everything is really bright and you know, concentrated on the inner corners. And I'm also going to take that eyeshadow brush with that matte skin tone color, and I just like to put it sort of around the edges, even on the lower lash line, just to help everything blend together. Now I'm going to put a little bit of Chanel Le Crayon Colle in Claire on my waterline to brighten everything up and to make my eyes look a little bigger. Then I'm going to curl my lashes and add some mascara, and I will be back to do the rest of the face with you guys. So now I'm going to set my face with a bit of pressed powder and a kabuki brush. Then with that same kabuki, I'm going to use Tickled Pink e.l.f. Studio Blush and just do a light dusting of this on my cheeks. I'm not going to use highlighter or bronzer because the eyes are so intense that I really don't want to put too much on my face because it could take away from the overall look of the eyes. Then for lips, I'm just going to use a bit of Angel by MAC, which is a really pretty, slightly neutral pink. Got a little bit of a baby pink undertone to it. And then that is the look complete. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope Anna, who requested this, enjoys this. It is a bit dramatic, but I think you could use it for a party or going out at night or something like that. Be sure to check the blog for pictures and a list of products. And until my next video, I'll talk to all you guys soon. Bye!